Hey everyone, what's up? I am Eggs over here, and I'm here to do a video on Star Trek because we've gotten a ton of new Star Trek information over the last few days pertaining to Star Trek 4, the movie, pertaining to the Picard show, more shows on the horizon, short treks, and Star Trek Discovery Season 2. So there's been so much stuff that we found out from Alex Kurtzman, who is he's essentially the Kevin Feige of Star Trek at the moment. He's kind of overseeing everything. So I'm going to start off with what we've learned about Star Trek 4. So, originally the plan for Star Trek 4 was that it was going to mainly be a time travel story. Original Star Trek 4 was from 1986 and was also a time travel movie involving the crew of the Enterprise going back to, well, they were the crew of the Klingon Bird of Prey at that point, but they went back to 1986. That's the one where they saved the whales and all that. It's a fun movie. The new Star Trek 4 was also going to be a time travel movie. It was going to be about Kirk meeting his father somehow. His father, played by Chris Hemsworth, who cameoed at the start of the first Star Trek reboot movie, the one in 2009. But the movie kind of started to fall apart as both Chris Pine and Chris Hemsworth wouldn't sign on for the movie because Paramount wouldn't give them the money they wanted, which made sense because the entire cast of the new Star Trek movies had signed a deal back around the time Beyond came out about what money they were going to get for if they did Star Trek 4, but Paramount wanted to change that deal and give them less money now, and so naturally a lot of the cast didn't really want to move forward. Also, with the death of Anton Yelchin, who played Chekhov, he died shortly after Star Trek Beyond it was shortly before Star Trek Beyond came out, and a lot of the cast are kind of hesitant of moving forward without Anton Yelchin. So yeah, due to this, there was kind of no new information about the movie for a good while, but apparently, according to Deadline, the movie isn't going to be moving forward. It's been quoted, shelved, unquoted, but that basically means it's cancelled and not happening. It could happen at some point, or it could just, we could see a new Star Trek movie in the future that's not Star Trek 4 and just a bunch of new stuff, which I think is likely. Quentin Tarantino is supposed to be making a Star Trek movie. I would love to see that, but I don't think that's going to happen. But now that Star Trek 4 is cancelled, there's a better chance of that happening because it doesn't have another Star Trek movie to contend with. So yeah, Star Trek 4 seems to be cancelled and not happening. So I would say it's going to be a good while before we see another Star Trek movie, which sucks, but to be honest, when Beyond came out, we didn't really know what the future of Star Trek was going to be. When Beyond came out, we thought that we weren't going to see in our TV show for a while. We knew Discovery was coming, but we thought that could be a flop. We thought that probably, if that fails, then that's it, Star Trek's done. But now we know that there's a bunch of Star Trek shows coming, so to be honest, if that means we don't see a movie for a while, I'm 100% okay with it, because I think Star Trek suits TV better than movies anyway. In terms of the Star Trek Picard show, the show still doesn't have a title yet, and it's still aiming for a late 2019 release. But we did get some cool plot details about the show, and apparently it's going to pretty heavily deal with the destruction of Romulus. The destruction of Romulus happened in the year 2387, and it was actually shown in the 2009 Star Trek movie, the reboot. The only thing that was shown in the original Star Trek timeline in that movie was the destruction of Romulus, and destruction of that caused a supernova that sucked Nero and Spock into it, and they popped out in the Kelvin timeline, as it's called, which is one with Chris Pine, Chris Hemsworth, all that. Apparently, Picard is going to be radically changed by the destruction of Romulus. This is cool because I actually honestly thought that they might just forget that destruction of Romulus happened and just kind of move on in the prime timeline without really addressing anything from the movies. So it's cool that they're keeping canon in line. There was also a Star Trek comic that came out just before the movie called Star Trek Countdown that shows the crew of the Enterprise helping Spock try and stop the destruction of Romulus, but they fail, obviously. It's a good comic, and it turns out that's probably going to be the basis for this TV show, or I guess that comic is going to show why Picard is the way he is in this TV show. So if you are interested in this Picard show, then I would recommend reading that comic because it's really good. It's one of the better Star Trek comics. Alex Kurtzman also said that he's planning on doing 3 animated shows, which some of them will be more lighthearted than Lower Decks. Lower Decks is being aimed at an adult audience. I would imagine that out of the 3 he mentioned, one of them is Lower Decks, and the other two, because I find it hard to believe he currently has 4 animated shows in the works, because that would mean he has 4 animated shows. It's the Picard show, he has Discovery Season 2, he has this possible Giorgio Captain Felipe Giorgio spin-off, and possibly the Starfleet Academy show that's also supposed to be in production. But yeah, the other animated shows are supposed to be aimed at a younger audience, and Lower Decks is said to not be Rick and Morty in space, but it's supposed to be a Star Trek show that makes you laugh with Star Trek rather than laugh at Star Trek, because Star Trek kind of has always been a make fun of show. So it's cool that they're doing something like that. He talked about Star Trek Discovery Season 2 in terms of the Klingons, how the Klingons are kind of going to look different now, more in line with the Next Generation Klingons. There's some stuff about Spock's relationship with Michael. So that's going to be interesting. And it says that the Season 2 is going to be much more lighthearted than Season 1, but we've kind of known that for a while now, especially with the trailers. Finally, and this one wasn't said by Alex himself, but apparently there's a Star Trek Starfleet Academy show in production. We first heard about this ages ago. We actually first over the summer, a bunch of rumored Star Trek shows got leaked. One of them being Starfleet Academy show, one being a Khan show, one being about the crew of the Reliant, and one being a Picard show. The Khan and the Reliant show we've heard nothing about since. The Picard show ended up being real, so that means there was something true out of those rumors. That means that they weren't just rumors. And the Starfleet Academy show, we didn't hear anything about either, but now the current news about that is that it is moving forward, and it'll just kind of be set on Earth on Starfleet Academy, kind of like, I guess, a college show just in Starfleet and all that. I would like if they kind of had the show feature Red Squad, but yeah, that's all the information I have on the on the future of Star Trek, I guess. But what do you think? Are you excited for any of it? Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing. Thank you, and have a great day.